Silicon Valley's motto is move fast and break things.
Move fast and break things.
Move fast and break things.
And sometimes that leads to great fortunes. And sometimes that leads to prison.
The jury found Holmes guilty on 4 of 11 criminal fraud charges.
The line between unicorn startups and corporate fraud is much thinner than you think.
Hello?
So I'm starting a real company to find out exactly where that line is. Is this thing on? Ready to go? Well, look, it's pretty simple. We have a real LLC, a real website, a real Instagram page, a real product. We talk to a real lawyer, real investors. Our company is called Quantum AI Crypto Web3 Blockchain Metaverse.ai. Could you possibly have thought of a better name for investors to just throw their money at? I'm gonna move fast and break things without actually breaking the law. Take Facebook, for example. In its early days, it harvested user data and built tracking tools that skirted privacy norms long before Congress even knew how to pronounce cookies. But it scaled to billions before anyone noticed. And then there's Uber. It launched in cities without permission. It bullied regulators. It had a God view tool to stalk users. Uber didn't just break taxi medallions. It shattered entire regulatory frameworks. Not fraud, but not fraud either. All these companies that you know and respect got close to that line but didn't cross it. And in that gray area, there's a growth opportunity. So with my Delaware registered LLC set up and approved, I went straight to investors to raise some money. Please don't stand, please. That's not necessary. My company is called Quantum AI Crypto Web3 Blockchain Metaverse.ai, and I am the CEO, Shreyas Sinha. Let's get started. This country has a major problem, okay? Girls have things like hair extensions, even eyebrow extensions, but what do guys have left in this country, if anything at all? That's where we come in. We're introducing one of the most innovative products since the iPhone, nay, since sliced bread. AI chest hair extensions. Chest hair, I think, is among the things in the world that people hold most sacred to them, like their wives and kids. And just like how AI is going to replace both of those things, it's only natural that AI replaces chest hair as well. No need to applaud. Any questions?
Tell me, have you ever built this particular product?
If I need money from investors in order to build the product, but investors first want to see the product before they give me the money, what then? That is the age-old Silicon Valley chicken and egg problem. You need to prove you have customers to get investors' money, but you need investors' money to build the product so you can get the customers. Entrepreneurs are, by definition, trying to create the impossible, and they need to convince investors and customers that they can do it. So many just choose to fake it until they make it. But why do some entrepreneurs get away with it while others go to jail? I looked at 2 real-life people who tried to solve this problem in similar ways but got vastly different results. One is Blake Scholl. He's the founder and CEO of Boom Supersonic. They're bringing supersonic airplanes back. He also promised that his planes wouldn't have the enormous blasting sound other supersonic airplanes used to have, except he had no experience making airplanes ever. He wasn't even an aeronautics engineer. He used to work at Groupon. Still, he convinced his way into Y Combinator, convinced Virgin Atlantic to write a letter of intent to buy $2 billion worth of airplanes once they were manufactured, even though he had still yet to build an airplane ever. And then there's this other guy, Trevor Milton, who wanted to start the Tesla of heavy-duty trucks, except it couldn't get its Nikola 1 truck to fully function, but it still needed to get customer orders and investors' money to finance solving the engineering problems and make the product work. But today, Blake Scholl is a successful entrepreneur worth millions, and Trevor Milton was found guilty of fraud and sentenced to prison. So I talked to a lawyer to figure out the difference between what both of them did to make sure I don't end up in prison too.
It's okay to get people excited about a product. It's just not okay to deceive them about what the product will be. So what happened with Nikola Corporation was that there were a few things that Trevor Milton stated as true that proved based on the facts to just not be true. And he knew that they were not true based on what was alleged and shown at trial, saying that I think it was truck 1 was operational and moving when it wasn't.
Then I asked Maya, what if Trevor Milton didn't know that the truck wasn't working?
One of the ways that knowledge can be shown is what you tried not to know.
So it's bad that I blocked my Countess number.
It's not helpful. It's not going to get you out of the knowledge piece.
So I should unblock my Countess number. My accountant is also my mother, so I should call her. Basically, don't fake it till you make it. Lawyers suggest you use forward-looking disclosures that basically suggest that you're not making material statements about the present, but instead forward-looking projections about what you think you can pull off. But talking to lawyers is one thing, okay? I want to talk to a real-life expert, Elizabeth Holmes. Hey, huge fan.
Great to meet you, Shreyas.
So basically, I also want to pull off an impossible project like you promised that you did. How do I create a revolutionary product without misleading investors along the way and then, going to jail?
Look, don't do what I did. I created fake medical tests with fake diagnoses, but the customers thought that they were real. I was just trying to get investors excited so that they would invest more, and then I could actually create the product. But it just got me into this whole show. It's unfortunate, but it just turns out that the product isn't possible to build.
No, you're still a visionary. Instead of saying that you had already built a product, if you had just said you're on track to, that you're optimistic you can pull this off, then you could have still raised from investors while, avoiding misleading them and then going to jail. These Stanford professors, they actually figured out how to do some of the things that Theranos promised it could do. So you basically just needed more time. Here.
No.
Look, if investors know how much of a gamble they're taking, like, hey, there's a 50-50 chance this thing blows up or changes the world, then they can decide whether they want to roll the dice. Take Trevor Milton, the Tesla of trucks guy, who ended up in jail. This man released a video of his big old Nikola 1 truck moving, and everybody was astonished, except it turned out the truck wasn't driving, it was just rolling down a hill. He was using gravity, nature's original engine. Now compare that to Blake Scholl, a successful entrepreneur, very much not in jail. The guy behind Boom Supersonic.
There's no cheat code. The only way to have credibility is to actually know what you're talking about. And so I spent a year studying aerospace.
He flat out told investors, I haven't built a supersonic jet yet, but trust me, I did the math and I ran it by a Stanford professor.
Say what you know and say what you don't know. In my experience, that's how I earn people's trust. And if you look at the companies that didn't do that, you make false claims about what you've already done. It looks good for a little while, and then you're in jail. And I'll tell you, orange is not my color.
He was also fully transparent with Virgin Atlantic that gave him that $2 billion letter of intent. He told them that he never made a plane before, but that they'd modeled it on the computers and that it can work. So these things are gonna fly. It's just a question of if they're gonna fly with the Virgin Atlantic's logo on them. Bazinga! Virgin Atlantic gave him the letter of intent to buy 10 aircrafts whenever they'd be ready. Then Blake Scholl took that letter of intent, proving that if he can pull this off, then he had $2 billion worth of revenue in the pipeline, and showed it to investors who gave him the millions to build it. So the lesson is just be fully transparent, move fast, break things, but don't lie. Don't say you've already built a product, say that you're on track to build it. And if you do need a lie, then come up with something better than rolling a truck down a hill. So basically, this product, we're on track to build it. We don't exactly have the product yet. Our addressable market is every single man on Earth. That's at least 1 billion people. This is our revenue projections. It's one of the best some people have ever seen. Blind people. Testimonials, one of my good friends and mentors, Bill, said that this is definitely the next Microsoft. And this is the golden question. Are you going to invest in this revolutionary, groundbreaking product?
No.
Please.
No.
Dude, you have got to be kidding me.
No. Что это за идиот?
Even after every single investor turned me down, I decided to use what I learned from Blake Scholl and try again by pitching my company directly to him so I could follow in his footsteps. Blake, would you be interested in investing in this company?
I don't know. I mean, do you personally use the product?
Yes.
What does your girlfriend say?
She left immediately when she saw.
Yeah, maybe this wasn't the best call.
Yeah, the AI part is pretty revolutionary if you're interested. You've heard of artificial intelligence? Because this isn't that. This is Asians and Indians. We source it from Asia.
Well, I'm sorry. I'll invest in your next round. I think it's too early for me.
Is that like VC speak for no? It was indeed VC speak for no. But Amazon said that it was using AI to track customers in their stores, letting them just pull things off the shelves and put it in their bag, and their credit card would just automatically get charged, except it turned out their AI was also Asians and Indians, watching through surveillance cameras 24/7. Not fraud, but not fraud. Anyways, I still need an investor, and I have one more trick up my sleeve. Hey Dad, yeah, it's me. No girlfriend yet. Listen, can I just borrow a couple millies again? Sweet, thank you. Are you proud of me? Hello? Congratulations to me, I secured investors' money. First, I created a company website that you can go to right now with the URL on your screen. And then I started engineering the product, creating numerous state-of-the-art prototypes. Perfect. Then I set up an Instagram page with real customer testimonials, definitely not taken at gunpoint.
I feel just so much more confident now.
Is AI chest hair for women? I'm here to tell you it is.
Get this chest hair. Words can't describe it.
Now people see me as a real man.
Hey, eyes up here.
Take out a loan. Whatever you do, you need to purchase this.
Website is up, Instagram is up, product is made. The next step is revenue. So I hit the streets of New York to sell it to customers. AI chest hair? No? I understand. AI chest hair. Oh my God. Sir, you look sexy. Would you be willing to pay for this?
No.
There's a decent amount of women that don't really like chest hair.
Yeah, I didn't consider for that.
You would have to pay me to take it.
I think it's weird.
Would you be willing to pay for this product?
How much are you asking for?
You name your price.
I'm indecisive.
Thankfully, I was able to make some sales. All right, man. Thank you.
Right, man.
Thank you for the sale, bro.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
All right, bet.
I'm a businessman. But look, making revenue is stupid anyway. Stock is where the real money is. Zuckerberg still gets paid $1 a year. He got rich through equity. Revenue is just a story you tell investors so they can pump up your stock. And there's a lot of ways to flub the accounting to make your revenue look good. Like most companies report EBITDA, except this one company, a celebrity-backed green credit card called Aspiration, reported EBITDA, which is the same as before, except they put in an M, their marketing, which is their largest expense. So that made their earnings look way better. Dell also used to do this. They used to smooth over their revenue with computer sales when they were down, using money from an exclusivity contract they signed with Intel. Intel paid them money to not use chips from any of their competitors, which they put into a legal cookie jar, and just took that money out whenever they needed it. The SEC ended up fining Dell $100 million, which is just 0.07% of his net worth. There are countless examples I could go through, each one unique to the company's business model, but ultimately, the way these companies see it is this. SEC fines are like speeding tickets for rich people. It's just the cost of going fast. Only problem is, I don't have stock. I mean, I didn't see this coming, but like, people weren't really buying my product.
Okay.
You don't seem surprised.
I'm just listening to you.
The money is really in stock. Do I have enough revenue to IPO? Here, I brought my balance sheet to look at it.
It says $7.
That's a revenue.
Great. Generally speaking, it's a very expensive process and it's a very time-consuming process. So I think it would be difficult to do so without a certain set of financials.
Am I close?
I think you'll need a little bit more money than $7.
The story of my startup might end here, along with our journey of learning about corporate fraud, and there are countless case studies we didn't get a chance to go through, but the truth I want to leave you with is this. Apple, Tesla, Google, Amazon, Microsoft, Meta, Uber, and other countless billion and trillion dollar companies embody Silicon Valley's motto of move fast and break things. They are embroiled in lawsuits, shielded by their team of world-class lawyers, while they just try to see how far they can push that line between doing whatever it takes to grow fast and what constitutes as legally fraud. Shouldn't the little guy like me and you have some of the fun too? Hello?
Travis?
Yeah, that's me.
Are you a man?
Yes.
I thought so, but you just have a very feminine voice.
Is there a point to this?
Yes, you're under investigation. Come to our offices now. We need to ask you a few questions.
You understand this is your deposition.
Look, I don't know if I have the answers that you're gonna be looking for.
Well, you're under oath, so try your best.
Is this thing on? Ready to go? Well, look, it's pretty simple.
This is so much dumber than anything I ever did.
I was gonna ask you out to coffee, but now I guess it'd be kind of...
I have to get back to prison, so.
You'd rather go to prison than go to coffee with me?
I have to get back to prison. But best of luck.